Hello, welcome everybody. We just live today. We're gonna just do. I thought we can do some live and have some Q&A as well while we do weekend analysis, as we do every time on Monday. Today being holiday in India, I thought it'll be good to catch up with you guys. Hope you're having a good time. Can you just tell me on the chat if you've joined me live? You're able to hear me well? Because I had in the past some troubles with the live going live. So I just want to make sure. Let me check. So what we're going to do is a three parts. First, we're going to go through some of the macro analysis. Then we go through some of the indexes, go through our weekly routine on the indexes, stocks, how things are going. At the end, probably we can take some Q&A since we are live here, and I can share some of my thoughts how I'm shaping up for this week. Um, how's your weekend has been? Just put it in a comment box below. Let me see whether live, just so that, just hold a sec. Yeah, looks like, I just want to make sure. Yeah, yeah. So looks like everything is all right. Great. I got some chats coming in. Hey Anurag, how are you doing? Hi Samir, thanks for joining in. Much appreciate. So you can hear me well, as well as just let me know, and you can see me. Yeah. Thanks, Anurag. Good to see you. Good to chat with you as well. I can't see you, but great. Just if, yeah, busy. Yeah, super busy. I'm just in my own nook at the moment. Um, uh, well, I thought it'll be good to have live and also take some questions at the end. Great. Can you hear me? Just type in. You can hear me. All systems go. Whatever. All system go means all good. Okay. Great. Great. Thanks, Samir, for that. Good to see you all. Okay, so first thing first, this is after a long time I'm doing a live session, so probably we'll do once, regularly going forward. Uh, but I thought let's go through some of the macros. What I'm, I kind of put the topic as, will there be a pre-Diwali rally coming through for India market? Though, as you know, I invest in US, Australia, and largely in India as well. But again, no, clear disclaimer. Whatever stocks we discuss, no buy and sell recommendation. Just want to have a more educative session. So I just want to make sure that is very clear. Given that I'm not at all a financial advisor to give you buy sell recommendations. All right, great. Okay, so what I will do is I will share my screen and we'll get going as we do a weekly routine. Okay, and some of the things which I wanted to share with you planned out for this session. So always, I know I don't put any scripts in mind. I just have some thoughts which what I want to talk about. If you ask me a question, then probably I might be able to add much more deeper value. Though I want to appreciate your time on this, those who are watching live as well as later on. But if you have any questions, do keep them coming. All right. So let me know if you can, something which something we keep looking at it and see where it is going, because given what's happening, there are a lot of ETFs being put together for Bitcoin. And again, my view is that Bitcoin and all the cryptocurrencies will be moving towards as a kind of an regulated environment, and that's what also we get to see from the G20 summit, which happened. I don't know whether you've gone through all the pointers, but then all the countries will come together and yeah, kind of come. Thanks, Anurag, for that, and come with the regulation, and then becomes like a more of a commodity player. But again, most of the investors or the traders or the young generation, they come into cryptocurrency thinking that they can get rich quick, and all the cryptos get flying. So I've made a list of some 10, 20 cryptos and keep looking at them and seeing what's happening in the market. Again, as a peaceful weekend investor, we have one element which is more for long-term investing. Another element we look at it more kind of I wouldn't say trading portfolio, but again from the portfolio where we can generate capital out of that for the long-term portfolio. That's how we play, and Samir can vouch for that. So that's why I keep looking at Bitcoin, and because there are a lot of stocks which are available in Nasdaq, or they could be other ancillary play which you can look at it. Last time when I had this crypto rally, I was invested in EMD, and that time, and there were a couple other stocks which went up as well. So my main point which I want to drive here is look at Bitcoin and see where there's easy money coming in, which doesn't look like given that 5, 6, 7% interest rate which is happening in US, but still we have to look at it on a weekly or at least 2 weekly basis. I haven't seen that for at least for 3 weeks now. So nothing fancy happening. I think last time when I put the lines here, still within that lines. These were the old lines which I was tracking, and so nothing crazy at the moment. But this is a let's look at the weekly chart to get a picture. When I'm switching on to the big screen, can you just let me know whether you're able to see the screen as well? Yeah. So this is kind of a weekly chart which is there. Okay, and the lines which are drawn for a couple of weeks now, I'm just tracking them. So that's about Bitcoin. And let's look at now what's happening with the. Let's look at the US market because that's also tells some story because now look at the Dow Jones, right? And by looking at it, we can already see that it is in a sideways or probably almost I wouldn't say a downtrend because it is still on the sideways, and we had a two bearish candles which has formed. We'll see how it goes on, but looks like there is some kind of support which is either coming in here, and so there'll be a support zone. But overall, if you look at it, the trend is downwards, right? Because it made this high, and then there's lower high, and then it's moving. So we'll have to look at it. What's happening in Dow Jones? That was some of the lines. Yeah. Guys, can you just still see me and hear me as well, right? So just want to keep checking on it. Nasdaq again. If you look at Nasdaq SPY, and all of them are kind of forming the same pattern to me. If you look at it, this is Nasdaq chart, and then we look at the SPY. Yeah, here it is. If you look at it, there's a lot of similarities between all of the charts, right? And they both all of three were kind of in sideways because we have to look at the US market, understand what's happening, and especially what is causing bit of a worry in terms of is the interest rate. And US government rate is 4.6298, and I'm hearing with I'm talking to my friends out there and understand there's some crazy interest rate, and looks like there'll be another interest rate hike, at least one which is projected. I'm not at all expert um, in macros, but what we can thanks Samir for that. And but at least if you have risk-free returns, which is in around 4% or 5%, whether equities being high risk, and India market, if you see some of the charts, like they're high flying, but you have to always make sure you're ready for some kind of bit of correction. We'll talk about the India specific charts and indexes, but especially when looking at the interest rates in the US, it looks to be uncontrollable at the moment. And um, I believe those people who have bought the houses at the almost like lower level, maybe almost free, like 1%, 2% in US, they are all lucky because you don't have because they can fix the interest rate for entire tenure, which is crazy. And if they have to switch over, they'll have to go with the new rate, which is around 6, 7%. Nobody will going to do that, but that's the rational. So that's a bit of a worry in terms of another chart which you should keep looking at it, especially is the US dollar. And if you are investing in India market, and these are some of the lines which I've drawn already. And if again, if the US dollars getting beyond 83 or 85 or something, that means there's some bit of buying or exit will happen. But what I see is that bond market, inclusion of the bond market, India in the uh, JP Morgan bond market will have some bit of, lot everybody is saying that, hey, we're going to have a lot of inflows of fund, which is fine, but I'm seeing it more from the bond market is way larger than equity market, right? And if you start getting funds for, let's say, capital expenditure for roads infrastructure from the bonds, which will be to these government led institutions, then in that case you will have those money coming in to those companies will get orders which are listed in stock market, right? Especially the PSEs index. So that's what I'm looking at it. Plus also Indian um, regulation and especially Crisel, Care, and all those companies which probably might also come into foray as well. That's what I keep looking at the chart as well, because they are more, they always do kind of waiting on to the bond as well, because that's where companies have to come and get them rated. So keep a check on those, especially the Care, Crystal stocks as well, to see what is the impact there. Again, no recommendation, but something which I had check on the Care stock which I invested, and it was coming in technically, but then I exited after a while. Yeah. Okay. Any questions so far? So while that coming in, so that's one. Again, Nifty 50. This was no change in my view from last time. You can see in front of you. These were the lines which we drew last time, discussed it. If you haven't, I don't want to repeat again and make it such a lengthy live session. But we just have to, respect what's on the chart and work towards it. Personally, for me, I'm just taking it easy. I've already shared this earlier within the group as well, that I would only take very specific bets as such, especially on the lab portfolio, where we generally look for stocks which are trending higher. And I'll talk about some of the stocks which I'm looking at it. And from long-term investing, if you look at it, one stock which I want to talk about while I'm here, probably let's take all the stocks later because that's something interesting which I want to share. Bank Nifty, again, it is same story for me, no change. One minute. Yeah, you can see in front of you. I think, given that some of the stocks, especially from the um, PSU basket, are flying, right? Like Bank of India, Union Bank, they're all kind of flying all together. And personally, you know, they are not in the right zone where I should be buying as well. So I think I'm just watching from the distance. Some of the stocks I had, but I exited. But that's something I would, wait for some level of consolidation before I enter in some of the stocks. But I'm watching them very closely. But other than that, SDFC Bank is down and out at the moment. Some of the private banks are definitely not trending altogether. But from long-term point of view, I don't see a challenge at all. Ujjivan Small Finance Bank is something which I have shared earlier as well. Just an education point of view is doing well altogether. So that's about Bank Nifty. Let's look at some of the indexes. Okay. I'm not going to go all of them, but I just want to make sure that cover, especially um, the pharma. Now, pharma pack is, if you have been watching my videos earlier on the weekly analysis, I did cover pharma as one of the sectors. And I'm personally not a big expert in pharma stocks. I do have one or two stocks in pharma from my legacy portfolio as point of view, but I don't directly invest now. But I've been playing this pharma basket through the index itself, ETF, which is much more easier for me, and that's what I keep tracking on it. Individually, if stock comes in, if comes, if I understand, then probably I can hold in. But the pharma is doing good. There was a bit of an, if you see, there was a solid red candle which came in last week, which given I think it could be a shakeout given that it bounced back, but we'll see. I did add a bit of a tranche in that position, given that um, my position was in in green, and I wanted to add more if it continues on. Yeah, so that's pretty much on the pharma, but looking good because there's solid buying. So we'll see whether there's a follow through comes in. But things are looking good from pharma point of view, and especially one stock which, while we are in pharma stock, is JB Chemical. Now, I don't know whether you recollect there was a almost. Let me show you. I have. I This is a note which I put to myself, just so that, and I think this was the video which I shared on 2022 February, right? And that is a line from February onwards, almost 80% rally, right? If you look at it from this period onwards, it's almost like 100% rally. And I given this note to myself because I don't want to exit my winners, no matter what people say that the valuation is pretty high and all that, because as you know, we we have to respect the market exuberance as well, and enjoy that rally while we are there. If you have invested on it and you don't want to almost keep yourself aware technically what's happening, and if you think there has to be taken money off the table, you can do that. And I did take some money off the table for GB Chemical, but overall I still have a good position, a big position for the matter, and it has given a phenomenal return. I think JB Chemical, if you see management commentary, is very positive. They are looking very domestic. It's almost in what I covered in this fundamentally as well. They're kind of becoming a FMCG player altogether. So keep a watch on this stock altogether. It's definitely every time, and what I've noticed it every time it has a correction, there's a big bounce back comes in. If you look at the green candles in front of you, every time there's a red candle, there's a big green candle follow through comes back. So there is some bit of that tells me that there is some bit buying happening at the lower levels, and every time there's a correction or shakeout. So like fundamental price action, merge them together and enjoy the rally. That's what I do as part of it. Um, so pharma is another sector which I am kind of bullish on it. And let's look at the IT. I think IT pack for me again. This is the range which is given a breakout. Let's see whether it's sustained given that interest rates are high, and I think our IT stocks are dependent on Nasdaq. Given that I'm from IT sector, so at least I understand some bit of sector much more deeply. But some of the mid cap stocks like which are really doing well. I don't want to specifically name them. Samir also knows that which one I have it already because we keep talking regularly. But overall, IT stocks are something to watch out for. Keep in your radar and see whether there might be, if there is Nasdaq going to perform this, definitely our stocks will start flying again. And especially the mid cap segment is where you can see good growth because what's happening, a big picture is generative AI and AI is coming to forward. Like name any product or any company, whether it's B2B, B2C, all of them are putting in AI as factor in it, whether it's generative AI or whatever it is. But at least they're building the use cases for that, right? Now, what's happening, who's doing those work, they're all being, if you see most of the companies commentary coming, they have trained 5,000 people, 1,000 people on generative AI, and basically they're getting ready for the orders which are coming through from the big players for them. And you see recently Infosys have tied up with you know for the multi-billion dollar deals for doing the AI work with the chip manufacturing company Nvidia, I think, or and so all of them are coming up with, right? And without that, you're not going to be able to survive. So you have to keep looking for the look at the commentary and how things are coming in. Um, Not like from the long term perspective, I don't want too many stocks on my portfolio. For mid cap, I want to keep one which gives a varied one. Like for example, if you're looking at Sonata Software, which is more domestic play, also they are expanding in international. Then you have Birla Soft, which also is a mid cap IT, but very much. Um, uh, yeah, was a Wipro is still on the table showing. Yeah, I will come to that. Yeah, yes, there was some bit of a corporate announcement. Again, don't expect anything uh, on the fireworks as mentioned. Yeah, Wipro was one of the thing which I shared on Twitter as well. So it is, and I do have position. I want to put that on records. No buy sell recommendation, but I've just it's just few first tranche which I'm just entering because I think I'm trying to understand because I know some. I don't have any insider, but again, I got a feeling that this particular stock is setting up for because there's some kind of an change. There's a lot of management change happens, and recently the management left and they took away a lot of other key people along with that. That's a bit of a challenge with Wipro at the moment. So we'll have to see, wait and watch. Given that it's already down and out, so I don't see it not further fall from there. I think question is whether it can change itself and change the course and move up. That's the question. It's kind of acting like a ITC for the matter, but not going to move. That's what I can tell you. So I don't have very high hope, but yes, if it moves, then we'll see. So keep looking at the chart, Amir. I hope it answers your question, right? Yeah, it is great. So yeah, that's pretty much. I think auto is like again has given a big rally. So I'm whatever stocks I had in auto, I just booked it for now. I want to make sure I go light, especially in India. Also, we start seeing a lot of election based news based events will start coming in, and I just want to make sure I'm ready for available, have some kind of gunpowder dry to get into some of the stocks which I want to do. Right. So that will be my go to position. Let's take some questions you have before I jump into some of the stocks which are in my watch list. Yeah, great. Thanks. Thanks, Samir, for that. And again, before I jump into the stocks, I want to tell you that every time this is the most important thing you should do is every weekend look at what you hold before creating new positions, because we have a tendency to keep buying, and whenever you see a news, hey, the stock is flying, just jump in. I think that is the biggest mistake initially. Yeah, what is so yeah. So yeah, that's absolutely. I respect your views on this, Anurag, um, and I definitely respect on that particular that your view is negative, and that's absolutely fine because of the given overall index we have seen from Nasdaq. It is there. If Nasdaq not going to go up, there's not going to be any chances that you start seeing positive. But when there is a view is negative, that means you have chances to get into stocks which you understand fundamentally to start accumulating at lower levels, and that's how we have to look at it. And then again, we have set baselines when we should be exiting on particular stocks, and then we just let the market decide what will happen. So, and most of the stocks which I like to invest in IT stocks personally, because that's my domain area. I prefer to it for at least medium to long term, and not I don't play short term on the ITs unless I did had Birla stock for short term as well as on long term both, but that's how I look at it. Yeah, Samir is saying about Aventel, I don't know, and Jindal Drilling. So we'll look at both of them um, in a minute. So overall, I think some stocks are which are there in my watch list. Nothing new added on it, which were there from last time, which is still the same, and it's in front of you. Bank of India is just flying at the moment, and I'm just waiting for some key levels to test. But I think that is there. Grasim, yeah, it's kind of after retest is coming through. That's great. DLF is also retest and coming back, which is good. That's why I do have position DLF just to give you that open disclaimer. Soft, yes, it has. I had position it, and I exited, and now it's testing on the key levels which I'm tracking at the moment. Emphasis, big bearish candle, no, not much of an activity here. And I'm looking at all that in weekly chart, and Nasdaq is going really sideways. It's showing defining a trend, so it looks like it has some strength here. And Lupin is something which is forming a nice base. You can look at it, and this is one of the stock which I have. Uh, so Lupin is something which one stock I have on my legacy portfolio for some time, and I had a bit of a loss in that position when it corrected. I didn't exit it, but again, it came back in profit because it moved up. But that's fine. And that was when I was following a different fundamental, so it was quite some time ago. Um, and I don't have any problems telling that because yes, it's part and parcel of having losses and doing. I knew about this company to some extent. I didn't sell it. I said wait for it, but I started building as soon as there's a trend changed. I started adding position to it because I know that I'm going to play pharma through ETF only, and it's part. I think Lupin is part of ETF as well. So, but again, it's forming a nice base. Those who are interested in, you can see that it's there. I'll add the. So Samir is saying he wants to talk about. So there's some of the stocks and Union Bank, and it's just going crazy at the moment. All the PSU banks. Okay, so let's look at some of the stocks before we wrap up the session. It's already 30 minutes, so I don't want to make it big for at least for now. And let's look at the question of Aventel. And Samir is asking on monthly chart, please, and volume as well. Let's do that, Samir. And thank you for asking that. Uh, I have no idea, but this is the first time I'm looking and look at this. This is crazy. And I'll add volume as well. So let's add. So I don't have to say anything on this particular chart. Okay. So monthly chart is like you can after a solid base is moving up, which is great. And if you look at it from point of view, it has given 229% return from the last base, which is if you are invested on it, hold on to your gains. And if I were you, I would take some money off the table. But if you have a line of control, you know, but it's still looking solid at the moment for me. But the volumes are, if you look at here, the volumes are a bit on the higher side to my liking, especially. But it's um, I don't know the fundamentals, so I can't comment much on that. I haven't heard about this company, Aventel. So if you want to share about what this company does, that'll be great. But I can only talk about technical at the moment and looking solid. And there's a good buying comeback after sale. So because after this rally, if there is exit happens, 173%, and if it's down, you know, and you can weather that, that's fine. I think 26% is normal, and we have done this several times. That analysis, that that's amazing. That's amazing. Kudos to you. Well done, Samir. If you are up 350%, which is phenomenal, and if you all you need is few stocks like that in your portfolio, because if you remember, we always keep saying that you start with a kind of monkeys in our portfolio. Some will become King Kongs, and probably this is King Kong to you. A drum roll for you on this. Amazing. And you are one of the peaceful weekend investors, so I'm very proud of it. Defense and communication. There we go. That's great. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And let's look at the other one, which is Jindal Drilling. I think Jindal Drilling was also coming into radar. There we go. I have no doubt that you're going to come up with some amazing stocks because you know how to pick them now, huh? Great, great. So this is also going fantastic. It did came in when it was in the base, and I think it is poised for some good run up. So hold on to your gain. I don't see any reason. I would say just because there's a couple of weeks of consolidation, I think this is like at the best you can keep, and try and keep some random number below and enjoy the trend. And you know how to average up anyway, right? Both these stocks are amazing. More power to you, Samir, and you are amazing, peaceful weekend investor, I can say. So that's yeah. All right, great, great, awesome. Have fun. So that's that's all I had to share for today. Before we end this broadcast, a live session, do you have any question? Holding since 199. That's great. Uh, Amazing. That's also kind of doubler for you, or maybe more than doubler, or so, which is awesome. You're doing awesome job there. Keep more powering like that, and that's great. And again, clear disclaimer: please don't consider anything which is we discussed here as welcome, Samir, as buy sell recommendation. We're just talking here for more education based. So kindly take that as an thanks, Anurag, for that as well. So I'll end the stream now. Thank you for joining me live here, and those who are going to watch it later, do hit the subscribe button, give a thumbs up if you can. That'll be great, and so that more and more like-minded people can join into peaceful weekend investing journey. The whole objective is to make investing process more simpler rather than more complicated for busy professional like Samir, who is into multi-business at the moment here in Australia. All right. So till the next video, bye bye. See you soon.